Let us look at one more time about the flow of the project. I guess on Friday I have installed them without activating uh, virtual environment. That's why these are installed on global server. So that's why I'm facing issue to rerun the application. Just click Command. Okay, so yes, yeah, Satya. Yeah, Satya, you want to ask anything? Okay, so this is our previous project. So in this project, we are able to add movies. Okay, so like this, we are able to add movies and we are able to edit details using edit button. So this will give the previous content that we have posted into our database. So here we can edit data. Okay, so that will be edited and you can delete data using delete button. Okay, so the data will be removed from your data. Okay, so we have seen all these CRUD operations on previous in the previous class. So today what we will do is we will scale up this project with few more features like adding director details and movie genres. movie genres. To add that, you have to understand a new topics called as relationships. So this relationships is relationship between tables. Okay, so there are different types of relationships in Django ORM. You have to understand about them.
Sir, is the class is recording, sir?
Yes,
Okay, sir. Okay.
yeah, the missing recording class also I re-recorded on the next class. Okay, so one class.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so there are different types of relationships in our database models. So those are one-to-one relationship. Second one is many-to-one relationship. And the third one is many-to-many relationships. Okay, so these are the types of relationships that will be established between different models. Okay, so you can call them as steps. Okay, so let us see one by one with examples so that you will able to understand when to use these relationships. First one is one-to-one relationship. Okay, so in this relationship, a record in one table is related to exactly one record in another table. Okay, so which means, for example, I have a database table A. Okay, so these are field names of the table. Okay, and these are the data. Okay, so each data, record, each set of data is called as a record. Okay, so a table is a collection of records, which means, for example, we have discussed about how to insert data, right? So the data we are inserting each time is called as a record. Okay, so the set of data that we are inserting into uh, a table is called as record. So here in this definition, you can see that a record in one table is related to exactly one record in another table, which means, for example, I have another table called as a table B. Okay, so in this also I have some details. Okay, these are the records in table B. Okay, so for example, I have a relationship between record 1 in this table to record 2 in this table. Okay, so this is called as one-to-one one-to-one relationship. So which means a record in one table is related to exactly one record in another table, which means further than this relationship, these two records don't have any relationship with any other records. Okay, so this kind of relationship is used when a table have n number of columns. Okay, for example, if a table is having some 1,000 to 10,000 field names. Okay, so if you are storing some 1,000 field names in a table, so in that case, it is advised to divide your table into different tables. Okay, so that it will be easy to manage. To do that, what we do is, for example, I have user details. Okay, so for example, this is a table. So this table will have all the personal details, education details, okay, professional details, all these details. So all the field names are respective to these separate fields will be stored in a single table. Okay. So for example, let us consider this. All the field names are like some 500. Okay. So in this case, it will be difficult to read all the field names. Okay. It will be difficult to manage. Okay. So in that case, it will be easy to separate these data into so different sections. So which means, for example, we will create a table called as user. Okay. So in this user table, so it will have all the user fields like ID, name, email, phone number, all the user details. Okay. And we'll create another table called as education details. Okay. So in this education details, so it will store all the education related details of this particular user. Okay. So all the education details will be stored in this table. So to map this user with these education details, we use one-to-one relationship so that so for each user there will be a linked education details. Okay. In the same way, we'll create another table to store professional details. So in this professional details, we will have all the job details and work experience details. So in this will be also related to so this particular table. Okay, so like this we can make relationships using this one-to-one relationship. Okay, so this is called as one-to-one relationship. This one-to-one relationship is established using one-to-one field. Okay, so in models, if we make a relationship using one-to-one field, so we are able to establish one-to-one relationship. Okay, so let us make an example for this. Okay, so I have created a quick project for explanation of these relationships. Okay, so now to establish relationships, let us make models. So in my app, I'm going to models. So in this models, I will create a user called as model, models dot model. So this is my, okay. So like this, I have created a student. So in this student, we have details like full name, email, and age. Okay. So now I want to create another table to hold profile data of this student. Okay. Or let us say education details. So I am storing education details of a particular student in a separate folder so that it will be easy to manage. So in this, I have created. So here, college name, score, grade. Okay. So like this, I am storing education details in a separate folder. Okay. So now to make a relationship between this student and this education details. So each student will have only one education details. Okay. So which means then only we can establish one-to-one relationship. One-to-one relationship in the sense one table record will have relationship with only one record in the another table. Okay, so to make relation between this student table and this education table, education details table, so you have to make a relationship by giving a variable, a field name called as student or whatever you want, like user or any meaningful name, and then models dot one to one field. Okay, so you have to call the one to one field. So in this, you have to mention the table name that you want to make a relationship. So here the table name is student, right? So to make relationship between this, you have to mention name as student and you have to mention on delete. For example, so I have established a relationship between one record in the student and another record in this education details. Okay. But after a few time, after some time, I have deleted that particular record in student. Okay. So because this have a relationship between with this particular record, so you have to mention, so if I delete this particular student record, what should I do about this education details? Okay, so there are few options like set null. So set null in the sense, so still you will have this education details in this table, but you will be not linked to any student. Okay, so that is one option, and the other one is cascade. So cascade in the sense, so it will delete the related data as well. Okay, so for example, if I delete a student data, so related education details also will be get automatically deleted from the database. Okay, so these are the options that we have to mention on delete. Okay, so set null will, if I set this to set null, then so only this data will be student data will be deleted. So the education data will be remain, but it will be not linked to any student. Okay, so like this we can establish relationships. Now let us make migration and create these tables. So I have created two tables like create model student and create model education details. Now let us do the migration. So after I performing migrate, these tables will be dumped into database. So here in this example, I have not linked to any MS MySQL database. Okay. So in this example, I'm using SQLite database, which is connected by default. Okay. So to access this database, simply you can access this db.sqlite3 file. Okay. So in this, you can access all the tables as like this. So here I have created my app student and my app education details. Okay. So these are the two tables, right? Now using shell, let us access these tables in our command prompt. Okay. So let us import those tables from my app dot models import student education details. Okay. So now to create a new student, so the required fields for student is student are so full name, email, and age, right? To send them email, and the next one is age. Age is 20. Okay. So now to save this into a database, we have to call student1.save. Okay. So now this will be saved in our database. You can check here by refreshing. So if you visit the student, so here you can see that Rajesh details are stored in database, which are with ID 1, name Rajesh, email rajesh@gmail.com, and age 23. Okay. So now to add education details of this particular user, okay, education details. So here, this education details model is expecting the student that you want to map, okay, and college name, score, and grade. Okay, so here we have already student details that we are supposed to map, which is student one object. Okay, so here student equal to student one. Okay, so the student one is this particular student object. Okay, and next it is expecting college name. College name is ABC College. Okay, and next one is score. Score is some 86.5. Okay, and grade. Grade is some. Okay, so like this, I have created a object. Now I want to save this. Okay, so this will be saved into database. So if you go to this database and refresh, so remember that this student ID is one. Okay, so here you can see this record ID is one, and college name is ABC College. Score is 6.5. Grade is A plus, and student is one. Okay, so here one is the ID of this particular student. Okay, so this ID will be mapped to this education details. Okay, so that we have made a one-to-one relationship between this student and this education details. Okay, so these education details will be not mapped to any other user. Okay, so this will be mapped to only one user, that is this particular student. Okay, so the advantage of this mapping is, so now I have this student one object, right? So I can access using this student one object, I can access this full name, email, age, right? Student one dot name Rajesh, email, right? age. Okay, so I can access all the three parameters that I have created with the student. Okay, and I can also access his education details as well because there is a relationship between these two. Okay, so you can access to access education details. Yeah, to access education details, you can access like student one dot education details. So this will return the student object. So from this you can student one dot education details dot you can access like college name. Okay, and college name. What we have score. Okay, and grade. So this will be the advantage of making a relationship. So here we have simply divided a long table data into so two different tables. Okay, so here we have used, for example, we have used only small data tables for understanding, but in real world, you can use this type of relationship when a table has some n number of columns that you want to divide those table into you want to separate some section of data into a different table, then you can use this kind of relationship. So the advantage of this relationship is so you can access columns of your relationship data table fields as well. Okay, so from this object of this particular student, so you can access the related field names as well. Okay, so this is the advantage of making a relationship. So the first relationship is one-to-one relationship. So anybody have doubts regarding one-to-one relationship? Okay, next, many to one. So many to one relationship means that multiple records in one table are related to a single record in another table. Okay. So previously, one record in one table is related to only one record in another table. So in this condition, many records in one table are related to a single record in another table. Okay, so many to one. So which means if this is table A, okay, and it have records like R1, R2, R3, R4, and there is table B, which have some records like R1 and R2. So in the records of R1, R2, R3 are related to record 1 in second table P. Okay. So this R2 is related to this particular R2 in this table B. Okay. So this kind of relationships are called as many to one relationship. Okay. So in general word, this can be like, for example, if there is a book. Okay. So this book will have a author. Okay, the one who published it, who written this book, right? So if we consider author as table B, okay, and book as table A, okay. So this author can write many books, right? So for example, this author particular author have written books, book one, book two, and book three, okay. And this particular second author have written book two and book four, okay. So here instead of mentioning all the details every time for each book publishment, simply we are storing all the details in a separate table so that whenever we need to add other details, simply we will make a relationship with that particular author so that we don't have to repeatedly enter the other details. We simply mapping the uh, particular author to that book. Okay, so here for three books, there the author is same. Okay, so that's why I have linked made a relationship between this author so that it will be easy to access. Okay, so here this book two and book three got published by this author two. Okay, so these two books are mapped to this particular author. Okay, so this is called as many to one relationship. So many books can be written by author, right? So that's why, so many are related to one particular author. Okay, so this is called as many to one relationship. So let us see an example on this. Create one more table called as class reporter model. So in this, let us have full name of the reporter, and we'll have email of the reporter. Okay, so in the next class, we'll have articles. Article. So in this article, we'll have headline, okay, published date, okay, and we'll have body of the article, text body. Okay, let us call it as text body. Okay, so like this, I have created two tables. Okay, so in one table, I will store the reporters data. Okay, and in another table, I will store the news articles. Okay, so now I want to make a relationship between this reporter and this article. Okay, so this reporter may publish n number of articles, right? So one only it is not a reporter is restricted to write only one particular article, right? So one particular report may or may not write in a different more than one article. So in this case, to make a relationship between these in this situation, so we have to make a relationship using many to many, a many to one relationship. To make a many to one relationship, we have to use foreign key keyword. Reporter equal to models dot foreign key. So previously to make one-to-one relationship, we have used one-to-one field. Okay. Now to make many-to-one relationship, we have to use foreign key. So in this foreign key, we have to mention the class name that we want to make relationship, which is reporter. Okay, and same on delete. So on delete action models dot cascade. Okay, so if I delete reported details, so whatever the articles related to this particular reporter should also be deleted from the database. Okay, So like this, we can make establishment of relationship between these two type tables. Okay, so now let us push these tables into database. So first you have to do Python manage.py make migrations. Then it will display the what are the changes that you're making to your database. Then you have to perform migrate command Python manage.py migrate. So this will actually push the data into your database. So here you can see the two tables are created. My app reporter, which have details like ID, full name, email, and you have my app article, which has ID, headline, publish date, and text body and reporter details. Right. So now let us access these tables into our shell. So in this, let us import from my app dot models import. We should import reporter and article. Okay. So now let us create a reporter one equal to reporter. So it required full name, okay, email, okay. So the syntax error, I have to assign equal to. Okay. So now let us save this reporter into database. So if you go to this database and check reporter and refresh, so here you can see this archive and archive that gmail.com are saved into database. Now let us create one more reporter. Saving into a variable called as reporter2.save. Okay, so I have created two different reporters. Okay, so reporter one is RGV and reporter two is Suresh Babu. So now let me create articles. Article one, article. So this article is expecting variables like field names like headline, publish date, text body, and reporter details. Okay, so headline one. Okay, publish date, publish date, text body, reporter. So here in this reporter field, we have to mention the reporter object whoever has written this article. Okay, so here I am linking this to reporter 2. Reporter 2. Now let me save this article 1 dot save. Name error. Name error. Okay. So here I have called the wrong article 1 dot save. Okay. So now I have saved this article 1 details. Now if you go to SQL and check article details. Okay, so here you can see. So ID one, headline one, publish date, okay, text body, and reporter. So reporter is two. Here we have linked reporter to ID, right? So that's why. So here we can see the reporter to ID is Suresh Babu. So that's why Suresh Babu is linked to this particular article. Okay, so let me add one more article, the same article 2. So same reporter, who is reporter 2. Okay, let me save it. Okay, so headline 1, headline 2, different dates, different bodies, and so these two articles are related to same reporter who is with ID 2. Okay, so with ID 2 is reporter Suresh Babu. Okay, so let me add one more article. So here I am linking reporter 1 to this third article. Okay, so I have saved the article. Now if you go and refresh, so in articles you can see three articles. So here the reporter ID is 1 because I have linked here to reporter 1. Okay, so like this you can link same reporter for multiple articles. Okay, so the advantage of this is so you can access reporter details, reporter dot reporter1 dot full name. So you'll get full name, email, right? And you can also get reporter1 dot articles. Okay, so you can access them as article set. Okay, so this will return all the objects available in the set. So here you can see the related article with this particular reporter is only one article. So which we got one article. So if you check reporter2 dot article set dot all. So you'll get the two record. Here you can see the two records are linked to this particular reporter too. Okay, so here you can see these two are recorded, right, so that we can back reference. Okay, so like this you can access these details as well. For example, for article in reporter2 dot article set dot all, article dot headline. Okay, so here you can see, so like this you can access all the articles present in this particular reporter set. Okay, headline 1, headline 2. So these are the articles that this reporter 2 is published. The same way you can access these reported details using articles as well. So you have article 1 dot headline. Okay, article text body. Okay, so like this you can access all the fields present in your article, right? The same way you can access these reported details as well, like article 1 reporter dot name. So you'll get the one who published this article. Okay, email. Okay, so like this we can access articles, reported details from article object, and the same way you can access the articles this reporter published using this reporter object as well. Okay, so like this you can access in the both ways. Okay, so you can access reported data from article, you can access articles from reporter. Okay, this will be the advantage of establishing a relationship like many to one between these two. Just a second, I have to take a call. Okay, so like this, you can access data from either article or reporter from of the opposite table. Okay, so this is called as many to one relationship. So any doubts from this many to one relationship?
No, sir.
Okay, so the next one is many to many. Okay, so many to many relationship. So in this relationship, multiple records in one table are related to multiple records in another table. Okay, so in this example, table A, table B. Okay, so here many multiple records in one table are related to multiple records in another table. So for in the which means, for example, so this R1 and R2 are related to this R2. Okay, same way again this R1 is also related to this R3. Okay, same way this R2 is also related to this R3. Okay, you can see that there is no limitation on any side. Okay, so any number of records can be related to any number of records in this particular table. So for this, if you can take example in the context of movies. Okay, for example, in movies there will be cast, right, like heroes, heroines, right? So in that case, consider this as cast. Okay, so this as movies. Okay, so in this, let us take example as like hero one. Okay, let us take as Prabhas. Okay, so in this movies, let me take as let me take like Bahubali one, Bahubali two, and Kalki and Arundhati. Okay, so like this, I have taken four movies. So here I have Prabhas, Anushka. Okay, so let us take these two records in this. So H1 is this R1 is Prabhas and R2 is Anushka. Okay, so now to make a relationship between these two, so Prabhas acted in R1, which is BB1, acted in BB2, which is Bahubali 2, and acted in Kalki, right? So acted in three movies. So here Anushka acted in BB1, BB2, and Arundhati. Okay, so you can see that. So there are multiple number of relationships. Okay, So these are the possible, which means Prabhas acted in these three movies, but Anushka acted in these two movies and this movie. This Sudeep acted in only BB1. Okay, this Shiaji Shinde acted in only Arundhati. Okay, so like this, so there is no limitation for any actor to act in any movies, right? So he can act in n number of movies. Okay, so same way a movie can have n number of cast. Okay, so a number of hero, heroines, actors. Okay, so like this, there is no limitation between relationship between any side of the table. Okay, so this type of relationship is called as many to many relationship. So these movies can have a number of heroes. These heroes can act in a number of movies. Okay, so like this, you can establish. Let us see the example on this. Okay, title is an informal. And in the next class, cast. Okay, so like this, I have made two different tables. Now to establish a relationship between these two tables, I have to add movies. Sorry, actors equal to models dot many to many field. Okay, so you can make many to many relationship using this field name as many to many field. So in this, you have to let us this create as an actor. Okay, so to make a relationship, actor. Okay. So now, like this, we can establish relationship. Now let us push this to database. Okay, so you can see these tables in database as actor, full name, and movie title. Okay, so now let us access this to shell for practice from my app dot models import movie actor. Okay, so let us create actors first. Actor equal to. Okay, so like this, I have created three actors. Now I'm creating movies. Okay. So now to add actors into this particular this particular movie, so you can add using add button. Okay, like bb1 dot actors dot add Prabhas object and Anushka object. Needs to have a value for field ID before this. Okay. First, this should be created database. So then only we can access. So you can create tables either using sorry, you can create records either using this type of syntax. There is another type of syntax to insert data into tables. Let me show that. Okay, to insert a new data into record. For now, so if you check database, so if you check movie details, so there are no movie records are stored. If you check actor details, so two actor details are stored. Okay, why Anushka details are not saved? Okay, so I didn't save the Anushka.
Anushka didn't sir.
Anushka are saved. Okay. So now if I refresh, okay, so Anushka details also now are stored in the database. So now here you can see that there are no movie details. Okay, so we have seen a syntax to insert movie details to insert data into a table using this syntax. There is another syntax which is bb1 book sorry movie dot objects dot create. So using this create function, you can add title equal to one. So using this syntax, you don't have to additionally save. It will automatically save and return that object to this bb1. Okay. So this will be automatically inserted into database. So here you can see this Bahubali one is saved into this database. Okay. You don't have to perform additional save function. Okay. So now to add actors into so while creating, we didn't add actors, right? So now to add actors into this particular uh, table, you can add using db1 add. You can mention the sorry movie object has no attribute. Sorry, db1 dot actors. So here we have actors, right? So bb1 dot actors dot add. Okay. So now those actors are added to this particular database. Okay, so now to access particular db1 dot actors dot all, so you'll get all the actors that are available in this particular movie. Okay, you can access them for actor in db1 actor dot okay, so you can get Prabhas and Anushka. Okay, so let me create one more movie. Let me add these actors to this particular movie as well. Let me add one more actor like who is actor Sudeep. Okay, so let me add. Okay, so now if you check PB1 actors, okay, there are three actors in BB. Okay, so now if you check actors in BB2, so there are only Prabhas and Anushka in BB2. Okay, so there is no Sudip in BB2. So like this, you can add multiple users to multiple movies. Okay, so here the relationship between that Prabhas is linked to two movies. Okay, this same way that movie is linked to three actors. Okay, so this is called as many to many relationship. Okay, in the same way you can access these movies using actors field as well. Okay, which means for example here we have Prabhas, right? Prabhas object. So you can access about right same way you can access these movies as reset tiles. Okay, so by accessing prabhas.movieset.org, you get all the movies that Prabhas acted. Okay, so here it is linked to these two movies, so that's why you are getting those two movies as the movies that Prabhas acted. Okay, so like this you can access movie object. Same way you can access the movies that this particular actor you acted using this actor object. Okay, so like this you can establish many to many relationship between the two different tables. Okay, so any doubts from relationships? Any relationship clear or any confusion?
Practice and let you know, sir. Next class.
Okay, so practice these kind of similar examples. If you find any similar examples, you practice on those examples instead of copying instead of doing the same. Okay, and let me
Oh,
know in the
okay, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.